We are now approaching to the end of day one of ASEAN Business Forum 2013. Among all issues, transportation, logistics, and connectivity have been discussed widely in a number of forums as one of the key success factors for ASEAN integration. For the final panel discussion of the day on bridging the physical connectivity, you will gain direct insight from 4 distinguished guests on this particular issue. But before that, there will be the opening presentation by the Minister of Transport, Thailand. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to give a warm welcome to Dr. Chadchart Sittipunt.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to be here to give you the opening remarks for the bridge the physical connectivity. As a Minister of Transport, I think connectivity is a keyword for this coming decades. I think in Thailand we have implementing many infrastructure development plan relating to this connectivity. So I think I will just give you the brief overview how we see the connectivity in the ASEAN region and the impact on the AEC, which will be coming in 3 or 4 years. I think the main thing for connectivity, we have to look at the blueprints of the AEC, which mainly there are 4 pillars for AEC, which is a single market and production base, competitive economic region, equitable economic development, and integration to the global economy. All these 4 aspects of the blueprints, I think, all related to connectivity. Without connectivity, you cannot really become one, and AEC wouldn't be successful at its objective. And for transportation, mainly, we have the action plan we call Blue Night Action Plan, which is between 2011 to 2015, which we have include 4 areas for Blue Night Action Plan, focus mainly on the transportation, which are land transportation, promotion of the trade and tourism within ASEAN and other countries. And the other ambition project would be the Singapore-Kunming Rail Link and the ASEAN Highway Network. But for some project like the Singapore-Kunming Rail Link, I think, for my opinion, it also demonstrates the problem of some of the plans, because the situation in ASEAN is very dynamic. Some plan we have planned for maybe 20 years, like this Singapore-Kunming Rail Link. It's connecting Singapore to Malaysia, to Thailand, to Cambodia, to Vietnam, go along the east coast of Vietnam, and to Kunming, which is very indirect route. It go a long way. There are other direct ways that you can do the link between Kunming and Singapore. So I think what I'm trying to say is that some plan, they might need to be updated to be efficient in the current situation. The demand changing every day. There's new corridor going on. So I think for connectivity, even in the plan, we need to update it to reflect the current situation. For air transportation, it's a big boom in ASEAN with a low-cost airline. I think some participants also come from Vietnam as a low-cost airline owner. And you can see the big growth. Thailand, Don Mueang, we open for destination for low-cost airline. And now it's already full. We have to expand the capacity. Now 10 million annual passenger for Don Mueang only. So I think air transport also key for our connectivity. Maritime transport, I think most of our export go through our ports and go through maritime. You can see the number later. And transport facilitation, I think this is most critical thing. You might go to the border in 2 hours and you spend 2 days at the border crossing, with different laws and regulations. So I think that's also the very important aspect of the connectivity. So I think in AEC we define physical connectivity, institutional connectivity, and people connectivity. Today we might focus mainly on the physical connectivity, but as I mentioned, you have to look at other aspects too. Oops, something wrong with the slide. Okay. Because with physical connectivity, you might connect the wrong place, because as I said, the situation is very dynamic. Some economic corridor that we defined 20 years ago is no longer the potential corridor. There might be new corridor coming. So you need to look at the people connectivity together with the physical connectivity to see the actions where people want to go, where the trade are, where the new industrial estate located. Okay. For ASEAN, we have 600 million people. If you connect ASEAN to China, we have 1/3 of the world population. That's huge, and it's potential for growth. With proper connectivity, I think we become the important player in the world in this coming decade for sure. Look at in the tourists, we have 65 million people in our region, second only to France, And I think yesterday I went to Hong Kong with the Prime Minister, and the complaint from the Hong Kong tourists is that our road is bad. There are too many Hong Kong people come to Thailand, and they got traffic jam, and they have a problem connecting to the tourist spots. So that's what happened. You promote air travel, and end up you have bottleneck in the road system. So you have to look at the overall picture and see how you can accommodate all this potential future growth for us. And when you say physical connectivity, there are many things: road, railway, waterway, bridge, border crossing, ports, airports, power line, pipes, telecommunication, everything. But I think the key issue, what to do, when, and where to do it. So I think there are certain issues that I think the panelists can shed some light on these issues. And I think you can see the intra-ASEAN trade growing significantly. You look at the Thailand number, I think you can see that the trade among our ASEAN members maybe increased 100% during the last 10 years. So I think we are also customers to each other too. So that's why the connectivity among us is also very critical. I think this slide, and you show the table on the slide. Okay, another slide, please. Okay, this slide is quite important. It shows the difference among our ASEAN members. It shows the ranking on the logistic performance. There are some inequalities among us. We might provide good connection to the border, but beyond the border, maybe still some problem. So if we want to grow, we have to grow as a region. So we have to cooperate among our ASEAN members to get through connectivity. We might provide good connection to the borders, but beyond border, we have to make sure that everything go as smooth as before we exit the country. And you can also look at the documents to export. The number is different, You can take maybe 6 documents, 11 documents, vary among countries. That's a red tape that we need to make a standard, to make a uniform, make the rules and regulations better for connection. Physical connection is not that difficult, but I think the software connection is something that very critical. You spend more time at the border crossing inspecting all your goods and your products. You can build the road easily, but to change the law, to correct all the incompatibility, I think it might take some time. We have some CBTA, cross-border transportation agreement, among our GMS, Greater Mekong Sub-region countries. It takes 10 years already, but it's not in action yet because certain countries haven't ratified the annex yet. So I think to make the regulations incompatible might take longer than the infrastructure connectivity. So that's the situation we are facing at the moment. And you can see the corridor. I use Thailand as an example. You see, there are many corridors. ADB, we promote East-West corridor. You see the one connecting Malamang in Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, and to Da Nang port. And it turns out it's not very effective corridor at the moment. It might come too soon because Myanmar might not quite ready to use this corridor yet. So now we have to relocate this corridor to connect through Hanoi and then come to Vientiane, Bangkok, and Lanchabang port instead. So the example of we have to be dynamic in choosing the corridor. Some corridor might look nice on the map, but reality, there's no demand. So we have limited resources. You have to put the resource at the right place and the right time. So, but now the corridor that we're very active is the north-south corridor, connecting Thailand to Laos and to Kunming, to Myanmar, the red line, R3B and R3A. Also the southern corridor, R1, connecting Bangkok, Phnom Penh, Ho Chi Minh City, and Vang Tau Port. So we have to choose the proper corridors that reflect the demand of the region. And you can see the diagram. You put this into diagram on the right-hand side. You can see the flow of the goods, Thailand to Laos, Myanmar, China, and Vietnam. And with this diagram, you can see how the goods and trade flow, And this number increasing significantly. Last year, border trade, Thai and Laos increasing 30%. Thai and Cambodia increasing 25%. So I think this is the area that we have to prepare for growth in the future. Thailand, we have 27 projects connecting Thailand to our neighbors. Like Thai and Laos, we have 4 bridges. The fourth one will be open middle of this year, the Chiang Khong Bridge. We plan the 5th bridge at Bung Kan, connecting to Laos and to Vinh Port in Vietnam. So I think many activities going on in Thailand try to provide connectivity to our neighbors. And we're providing the railway I mentioned, the Singapore Kunming rail link. And it might not be the most efficient way to connect Singapore to Kunming because the length that you have to go through Vietnam. So Laos proposed new way coming down through Laos to Nong Khai to Singapore. And we will add more train route in Thailand to cover more and link us to our neighbor. So we will connect train to Cambodia, to Laos, and to Myanmar. And airport, also very important. We have about 34 airports in Thailand, and 6 belong to the Airport Authority of Thailand. You can see we have many regional airports that can provide connectivity and now become very active, especially with the opening of low-cost airlines, So you use regional airport and use Bangkok as a hub. And for long haul, you go to Suvarnabhumi and you use low cost to distribute to the regional airport. But the problem is not the airport itself. It might be the open sky agreement. We have 5th freedom, the agreement among our ASEAN members, but certain countries haven't ratified the agreement yet. So it's not active for all members yet. Right now we have 5th freedom with maybe 7 or 6 countries of the ASEAN, but still some members haven't ratified the agreement. So that's one of the obstacles for the air transport. The airport ready, but the agreement, the slot time, not there yet. So I think that's something that needs to be improved. And cable network, I think maybe some of the experts can tell more. Gas pipeline, our problem during the last 2 weeks, the shortage of gas. That shows the critical issue on energy connectivity. We depend gas from our neighbors. When they have some problem, we have problem. So I think all this connectivity will provide us you need some risk management and look at the global picture, how to connect, what will be the risk of using this network. The gas pipeline and power grid. All this will become important because there are some imbalance in the region. So to connecting, it creates the equality. The one who have more can share with some who has less. And I think the way we look at it, for the future planning, it will be critical to our region. There are many physical connectivity for the power grid plan for the future, and hopefully it will help stabilize the energy requirement for all countries. So I think the key issues will come maybe 4 things. Where to connect, The plan 10 years ago might not be updated. So we need to find which corridor do we need to develop. We have to have a dialogue among our ASEAN members. What to connect? You want to connect rail, connect to road, energy, gas pipeline. When? Sometime, as I mentioned, East-West corridor, you might need maybe 10 more years to connect. The Y port, when would be the right time to connect? So I think this issue need to be discussed and planned together among our members. And also, last but not least, rules and regulations. I think that's a key issue. You might build road, you might build railway, but if you spend 2 days at the border crossing, that's useless for all the connectivity in the physical. Right. So I think that maybe conclude my brief opening, and hopefully you can hear more from other panelists. Thank you.